Hey guys, welcome to episode 14 of the Meltdown. Today is Wednesday the 14th of 24th of 2016. The Meltdown is a weekly 20-minute podcast about the current meta in Hearthstone. Each week we'll focus on a specific deck and provide insight on how to pilot the deck in order to succeed on the ladder. However, due to the giant turmoil that is One Night in Karazhan, instead of featuring a deck list, we're actually going to talk about how to prepare for something different. We're going to talk about how to prepare for a tournament instead. My name is Dominic Silver Dragon Duane, and of course I have my legendary co-host Nate Walter next to me. How's it going, buddy?
It's going great. I'm excited to talk about the last week of Hearthstone with the meta, and I'm also excited that we have our special guest Duane on the show today.
Sounds good. Hey, Duane, yeah. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Duane. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my pleasure to be here. My first time to be on a show. So I've been playing Hearthstone for a good 2-3 years. Just joined the competitive scene and had some good results. I'm here to share some of my tactics and the meta breakdown, basically, with all the audience.
Sounds good. So Nate, you actually know Duane a little bit better than I do. What else? What has he done so far? You were really excited to tell me about him.
Actually, I'll let Duane take it away. Duane, how have you done in your recent tournaments?
The two biggest tournaments I've been in were the spring preliminaries. I top 8'd in that, went to the championship, but unfortunately wasn't able to take it home. And then more recently, there was the DreamHack Montreal, where I came in first place. So I did pretty well. Hopefully I can continue that trend.
Yeah, that's amazing to win a DreamHack. That's crazy good.
Yeah, so that's definitely really high up there. Hearthstone being such a numbers game, it's really, really difficult to make it in. Meowth definitely talked about that last week. He actually made top 8 this time. But yeah, it's extremely hard, and the little mistakes really do add up to a lot. So congratulations on winning a DreamHack. That's crazy, and thank you for coming on to the show. This week we'll talk about this week we'll talk about our personal Hearthstone news, general Hearthstone news. We'll talk about the Temple Storm meta report and the Vicious Syndicate Data Reaper report as usual. And then we'll ask Duane a lot of questions about how to prepare for a tournament, seeing as he's won DreamHack before. So, a lot of news. Wing 3 comes out tomorrow. Are you guys excited about Wing 3? Are there any cards you guys are really looking forward to playing with?
Definitely. The Curator, yeah. That's going to be a control card for sure. Or even just a mid-range card. I think it's going to be really good, yeah.
What about you, Nate?
Yeah, I love the Curator as well, just because I think it's going to create this whole new archetype, hopefully, when you can, mix and match Murlocs, Beasts, and Druids. So really looking forward to that. And also Purify, of course.
Oh, yes, Purify.
Silencing some of your own creatures, so look out for Purify. You're just going to be broken.
And guys, you guys forgot about Menagerie Warden. You know how broken that thing's going to be? It's going to be amazing.
Well, that was the obvious one.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, that's what I'm looking forward to. No worries. Let's talk about the Temple Storm meta report. Nate, please take it away from here.
Yes, sir. So this week we have in Tier 1 3 decks. Number 1, Aggro Shaman. Number 2, Token Druid. Number 3, Dragon Warrior. And then at Tier 2 we have number 4, Zulok. And number 5, Mid-Range Shaman. Duane, do you agree or disagree with these top 5 decks that Temple Storm listed?
I generally do agree. First of all, these are the most common decks. Aggro Shaman, Token Druid, and Dragon Warrior. Zoo is kind of falling out of flavor is just because of the existence of Warrior up there. So that's why I feel like Warrior before Shaman, Warrior before Zoo is the right call. And Aggro Shaman, one aspect about the ladder is that to get to Legend, you just want quick and efficient games. And Aggro Shaman is a very good deck, and you play very fast games. And Druid does that a lot too, so yeah.
Yeah, you make some good points. And those top 4 decks, I was listening to preliminaries, the US preliminaries this last weekend, and not only are those like the most popular on the ladder, they're also like the most popular in tournaments as well. So I think those 4 decks are really here to stay for a while until the next big expansion, at least.
Yeah, it's really difficult when ladder decks are permeating into tournament decks. Like I feel like they should be a little bit different, just because you're facing different opponents. But when they're the same, it's a little weird to watch tournaments. But I mean, if it does really well in both, then that's just the meta currently. Let's talk about the Data Reaper report. Nate, you want to go through that as well?
Sure. So again, it's same format essentially. So tier 1, 3 decks. We have Aggro Shaman. These are for all rankings, by the way. Aggro Shaman, 53% win rate. Dragon Warrior, 52% win rate. And Token Druid, 52% win rate. And then in tier 2, we have Midrange Hunter at 51.9% win rate. And then Hybrid Hunter at 51.5% win rate. So the top 3 decks that were listed in the Temple Storm meta report are all the exact same, except number 2 and number 3, Dragon Warrior and Token Druid, are just flip-flopped.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of surprised in Temple Storm that they didn't actually list any of the mid-range hunters. I feel like that's the most popular deck that I played this last week with the introduction of Kindly Grandmother. So I think it's in a really good spot right now, so that really doesn't surprise me. What are your thoughts, Duane?
I think mid-range hunter is probably not refined yet, but yeah, just throwing in the Client Grandmother and Barnes just makes the deck a little bit better, right?
Very good point.
I think it might need to be a little bit refined because it wasn't as on the top like as Aggro Shaman. But the Barnes Synergy and Kindly Grandmother are just like no-brainer cards you would throw in and they would just do the job for you, right? It wasn't like constructing a whole new archetype or building a new synergistic stuff. They are synergistic with the previous deck, right? Just make 2 cuts or 3 cuts and you'll be set. So probably need to be a little bit more refined, but I think it should go up there, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So you spoke a little bit about how these cards really fit into the archetypes that already exist. Are there any cards that you see that are in particular underperforming?
Underperforming, I believe, is the Priest deck. So with Onyx Bishop, I think I've talked about this and listened to some other people say that for Priest in this meta, you kind of need to play Doomsayer. But if you play Doomsayer, it's bad if you play Onyx Bishop. So you choose one or the other, right? You can't have the best of both worlds. So I think that's where the complication comes in. Like as a priest, you don't have a 2-drop. You don't want to play a Museum Curator, right? I mean, then you bring it back. It's kind of like not having a 2-drop in this meta is so crucial that if you don't have it, you lose the game. Like that's how it is, right? I mean, Onyx Bishop is a really good card, but I think you still need, early game. It's a very good value card. It's good with the Blade Master, but if you just get tempoed out, the whole deck just doesn't work, right? So,
yeah, Duane makes a good point, and so that's kind of why you can't really put in clerics either if you want like the utmost value, because if you take out clerics, then you don't get any card draw. But if you put in clerics, then there's a good chance you're gonna resurrect it, and then you don't get much advantage on the board. So. And if you put in like a Wild Pyromancer and you summon a Pyromancer, then it's going to res it, and then it's going to do 1 damage to the entire board, which you may not necessarily want. So it's in a difficult spot right now. I think it has some good tools, but like Duane said, it does need like a solid 2-drop, and then I think Priest would honestly be like one of the best classes in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like that's the reason why we haven't received a strong 2-drop, is that it would really, really increase the power level of Priest. But with the current cards out there, Ben Broad has definitely promised us Unicorn Priest exists, so we'll go and find it one day. All right, sounds
Purify.
good. Yeah, Purify. That's what it is. Purify. Yeah, exactly. So do you guys see any big deck changes, or have you guys seen any big deck changes in the past week? I didn't get to play very much, so I'm definitely asking for your guys' advice. Let's start with Duane.
Yeah, I talked about Barnes a little bit. It's just kind of like that card had the highest expectation, and it kind of lived up to it, right? So let's not talk about that anymore. The second one would be Arcane Giants. So Arcane Giants is really, really good because if you look at some of the previous decks, almost all decks you can play Yogg. Like Temple Mage you can play Yogg, Druid can play Yogg, even Patron Warrior sometimes plays Yogg. So you know there's a lot of good spells that will not go away. And then you have these Arcane Giants, and you just temple them out. You just play for 2 mana or like 3 mana, that's fine. And a lot of times it's 0 mana. So that's a really big change. And yeah, I think I don't know if it's for the good or for the worse, but it's gonna be in a lot of decks, Arcane Giants. So.
Yeah, I've seen Arcane Giants in pretty much every deck with people just experimenting with it. I've seen it in Miracle Rogue, I've seen it in Token Druid, I've seen it in Raynan was doing like an OTK Warrior variant with Arcane Giants where he's playing Blood Warriors, so he's duplicating his Giants, and then he played like 4 in 1 turn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I also saw like a variant of Patron Warrior, which I know is pretty popular. So it's definitely an amazing card, as Duane said. The one I wanted to talk about that was vastly underlooked so far is Wicked Witch Doctor. I think the verdict is still out whether this card is actually affecting the meta that much or not, but I've seen a lot of good players like Brodan, for example, playing this, the Totem Shaman. So it runs like Totemic Mites, it runs Primal Fusions, it runs the Wicked Witch Doctor, and basically all you're doing is just creating totems, and then you're buffing these totems, and then you're getting like 0-4, 0-6 totems, and basically your opponent just can't clear them, and then eventually you just Bloodlust and win. So I think it's a new variant that we should be looking out for, to be honest.
Cool. Yeah, well, I'll definitely keep my eye out on that. Maybe try it out myself, see how well it does. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this week. Let's go into what we're here for, which is how to prepare for a tournament. So, watching the Meta Meltdown, you've definitely got an idea that Aggro Shaman does very well, and that, how to play on the ladder. But, if you want to take it to the next step, you want to enter tournaments. So, that's what Duane here is for. So before you can enter any tournaments, how do you find them, Duane?
So before I enter tournaments?
Yeah, like how do you find tournaments to play in?
Oh, okay. Well, I generally use Battlefy or Strivewire, and then sometimes Blizzard will have a news. Like on Battle.net, there's a news section telling you what's coming up. So I usually I'm pretty good at following up on that. So that's how I find tournaments. Those are the 2 biggest websites, and usually there's a lot, like almost a tournament every 2 days at least, for sure.
Oh wow, okay, that's pretty often.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So then, now that you've found tournaments, can you give us a little run through of like what you do in order to prepare for a tournament?
Okay. So one very important thing is, so as a new player, if you're just getting into these tournaments, please read the rules. It's very, very important.
Yes.
I mean, you might think it's a joke. I mean, a lot of times we'll have my opponents say, "Oh, I thought it was best out of 3, whereas it's the best out of 5." Or you have last year's standing and versus Conquest with a ban or without a ban. So it's very important to do that, and then you can kind of sit down and look at your decks, see what's the best for them, and how to prepare. Well, I think just for open tournaments, right? For open tournaments, you want to bring the decks you are most comfortable with.
Okay.
Because generally that's how other people prepare. So if you know one deck is good, so for example, I don't think I've ever brought Rogue. Like I know that Rogue could be good in some of the 1 or 2 of the tournaments, but I just wasn't that comfortable playing with it.
I see.
I probably had the least game playing with Rogue and Free, so I'm just not comfortable in those decks.
Cool. Anything else in terms of how to prepare?
Just practice. Don't be nervous. I mean, everybody has that, icebreaker, right? Like when I first started playing tournament, I got so nervous. I'm like, what should I bring? What should I play? How does Battlefy even work? Right, all that stuff. But if you play just one tournament through, no matter what the result, you build that tournament experience. You'll know that other side of the computer, your opponent might not be just, you could be friends, right? You could be a nice guy. You just can play like a friendly battle, right? That's the environment you want to be in, so you don't so you're not all nervous and making play mistakes and.
Duane, since you're talking about bring the decks that you're most comfortable with, how much is a factor of what you think the tournament that you're going to play in? How much of a factor do you think the meta would be? So if I anticipate everyone's going to bring a Zoolock, do you want to, bring a deck that you may not be all that comfortable with, that that's going to do really well against it, or do you still want to stick with, your bread and butter more?
For myself, I will still stick with my bread and butter. It's just that if you bring a deck, I mean, I know for a lot of high rank players or pro players, it's different. They're pretty much
You play everything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. But even for myself, I know some of my weaknesses, right? Like, if you don't play the deck enough, you're gonna be in a situation where you don't know what to do. You never seen this environment before. It's like a hostile environment. You don't even know where to begin. You start roping, and then everything just falls apart. Like, you don't want that to happen. You want to be playing in an environment where you know exactly how the matchup goes. You know exactly what card you need to play around, or what cards you might top deck to bring you the win, right? So I find sticking with the bread and butter is pretty good. For myself, for bigger tournaments, I would definitely prepare more with my practice partners, mainly Talion and Sidonia, to kind of go through some of the decks, to look at bots, to look at what Europe is doing, because generally they have the tournament before us, like the preliminaries, they have it before us, and then go from there, right? At that time, you're probably looking at maybe shifting a little bit in terms of the decks.
Okay, cool. So you talk about practice partners. Where do you find those things? I know of only one place, which is the competitive Hearthstone subreddit. I know that I think weekly they have a thing where you can, put up your information and look for practice partners. But is there anywhere else where you particularly go look for practice partners?
To be honest, no. I know that you can, like, I'm in a Facebook group as well where you can, always talk about the decks, posting decks, finding someone to play with you, right? My first practice partner is Talion, because he is my friend, and we both used to play other card games.
Okay, cool.
So that's my first practice partner, and then as you play more games, as you get in tournaments, you just add these people.
Yeah, for sure.
And honestly, 1 out of 10 people you add on the ladder will be the one that's not gonna be raging. So sometimes you might want to consider that. I know. When you play good games, you feel like it's good games. I try to add my opponent. I think I get maybe two to go through out of 10. I know that sometimes you kind of roll them, so you're like, oh man, they're probably not gonna add me. But a lot of times where you're like, just want to compliment on their play. I mean, not everyone on the ladder is a a-hole, right? Like, I mean, they are player interactions, right? So I think that's a very good place. Just the people you meet on ladder that do decide to take your friend request. So, yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. Nate likes to BM at the end of games, but I swear he's a good guy.
It's friendly BM.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good.
No, that's how Duane and I actually met. I think he beat me on ladder. Of course, he beat me, and then I think I added him. I think that's how it went, right?
I think so. Yeah, I was thinking I wouldn't want to add you, but I'm like, okay, I'll let it through, and then it turned out to be, hey, just a cool guy. Just want to share some of the plays or talk about it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Sounds good. So you can find them on ladder. You can find them at the competitive Hearthstone subreddit. Those are the two main places that I would look for. And like you said, the tournaments that you enter, you'll definitely meet people in there that also want to practice. So that's really cool. So as you're playing tournaments, do you ever get nervous? I know you talked about a little bit about it when you first started. How did you overcome that anxiety, or how did you overcome that nervousness?
I mean, for a lot of things, it's hard to do. It's hard to do like one-shot thing. Like, you kind of need to try a couple times, I guess. So just as experience builds, as you get to know better what the environment is, it doesn't feel hostile, right? First time I played, I'm like, oh man, how do I add my opponent? Right? Where do I find his battle tag? Sometimes it's not that obvious, right? Like, you find his battle tag, and then take screenshots of your decks. You can't have more than how many decks. So like, once you get through all that, all the technical stuff, you'll be in an environment where you're comfortable with, and you just want to keep playing these tournaments, because you get to play good players. You get to maybe sometimes win a little bit of a prize, and that's how I overcame it, just by playing more. There's really no other way. I mean, maybe have a friend help you, I guess. Maybe look over you or spectate you, so you look less nervous. But some people get more nervous, so I'm not sure that's the right approach for everyone. But
All right, definitely. That's really good advice, regardless. Yeah, and honestly, like, I think the best thing to do in regards to tournaments is to keep playing in them, regardless of whether you end first place or last place. The more tournaments you play, the more comfortable you are in that setting. So yeah. So someone watches our Meta Meltdown, and they've seen you, and they aspire to enter tournaments. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a new tournament player?
um, I would say just be confident in yourself and in the decks you play. Don't kind of just switch gear all of a sudden because your friend said, "Oh, this deck was really good in the tournament I played." That might not be the deck you're comfortable with. So just stick to your guts, stick to the deck you're comfortable with. Be confident in yourself. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. I've made tons of mistakes in my past. I didn't feel ashamed. I felt like I'm not gonna make that mistake again. That's how I felt, right? So just keep that in mind, and then you get better. You like the tournament environment more.
Cool, sounds good. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we close out the show?
I'm really excited about the new wing.
Oh yeah, all right, yeah. So am I.
Yeah.
I'll get to play it tomorrow. And,
Yeah.
and what about you, Nate?
Yeah, I'm just excited for new cards as well. I played a crap ton of games in this last week. I think I played like 130 on ladder, just trying out different stuff. So I'm looking forward to trying out some of the new cards tomorrow.
Cool, no worries. And as for me, actually, I have a little bit of news. On October 8th at UC Riverside, if you're in the area or if you're in OC, I will actually be hosting. I'm actually the CEO of HighlanderCon, which will have a Hearthstone tournament. So if you're in the area, you can definitely come over there, play some games, and I'll be casting as well. So if you're looking for a tournament to play and you don't know where to start, and you don't really don't have any recommendations, definitely come over there, and we'll see you over there, and we'll play some Hearthstone together. That pretty much ends it for us. Thank you everyone for watching and downloading our podcast. Shout out to our moderator Ritual Plays, who, yes, you can meet me in person, Ritual. And yeah, do you have any shout outs, Duane, before we end here?
Shout out to my testing partner Italian for his, been playing good games, doing good preparation work with him, and shout out to my girlfriend who should be watching right now. She's always been very supportive of me playing Hearthstone, trying to play at a professional level.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to her. Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet. All right, sounds good. So yeah, if you can find any of our previous shows and previous deck lists at metameltdown.com. You can find us at twitch.tv/metameltdown next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And on Twitter as well at metameltdown. Our YouTube is metameltdown, and our email is metameltdownpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, we hope to see you guys next week, where we are going to talk about the fourth wing. And yeah, we'll be back next Wednesday, guys. See ya.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.